Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? Did you enjoy that new intro, by the way? New intro for the new season. I'll cook some different ones. Actually, this season we'll have like a different one for Champions League, different one for the league, things like that. I'm gonna try and cook something different. But yeah, how are you guys doing? It's been I think over a week now since I've done a live stream, so it was about time. And yeah, people were asking like, come on, you need to do a video about the strikers. I was going to do like a recorded video, one of the ones where I do some analysis, do a bit of this and that, and then present it to you, 10, 15-minute video. But I thought I've got some free time today. Let's talk about it together, because it's a topic that's, it's getting the fan base talking all over Twitter, and of course probably all the other social media platforms as well. So I want to get your thoughts in and get my thoughts in and see if we can come to the replacement for Lukaku, because that's what Inter need to look for right now. You guys know we don't need to really talk about what happened with Lukaku. I think we've talked about that kind of stuff enough now. Whatever happened, I think it's been blown out of proportion and stuff, but in the end Inter have cut the cord, so we need to find a replacement for him. And of course today I guess Kirby here is feeling very deep, very philosophical. He's I guess it's the Onana, our boy Andre Onana, who just left today or yesterday, however you want to, whichever day you want to count. I mean, we know he's going to leave for about 2 weeks now. We've accepted it, or maybe you guys haven't accepted it, but I've accepted it for a while now. And yeah, and this guy, the way he's leaving as well, and Onana is kind of, Eduardo as well, that farewell, this guy, only 1 year into only 1 year, and a heartfelt interview with Gazzetta where he was saying maybe he'll be back, and he's going to keep singing that beautiful chorus that we've been singing all season. These social media posts, his general body language as well, when you see them come back for pre-season, you can just tell his heart. Not that he's being like, he's been like forced out, but it's kind of like, if it was perfect world, he would have wanted to stay. But similar to Hakimi, is kind of like, hey, someone had to leave, and it was him, unfortunately. And yeah, the video he posted as well today on Instagram and Twitter, like, a 1.5 minute video, beautiful video. Yeah, that's the way to leave. That is if you're gonna leave, this is the way to leave. Like, you can see some genuine kind of regret, but also I'm sure he's looking forward to doubling his wages at Man United now. But yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to enjoy Andre for more than a season. But anyway, let me give a shout out to everyone that is in here. Kirby, of course, in here. Balkan Warrior here to run some Scamacca hype train. I'm on that train, of course. Balkan Warrior. Steamed Hams. Hello, I'm new here. What's up? Nice to see you. If you found the channel recently, welcome to the channel. How did you find my channel, by the way? Just to be interested to find out. Casey, what's up, brother? Rest in peace. He's not dying. He's not dead. He'll come back one day when he's like 37. He's about to retire. He'll come back. Don't worry. Sandro, yeah, we'll talk about that. Scamacca. Well, actually, I can answer that one real quick. I do not like Beto. I'll answer that one, actually. I'm not even going to waste any time, give any suspense. Beto, Betuncal, really nice guy from what I've seen, like his interview. If you guys don't follow the Italian football podcast, Nima and Carlo run that podcast. They did an interview with him. Very nice guy, speaks English, started off at KFC, like worked at KFC. Great story, great for Udinese, but great pace. He's massive, but he's really quick. But the guy has no touch. He doesn't have much of a football IQ from what I've watched. His finishing is very, like, I don't want that guy. So I'm going to cut that one short. And we'll talk about him. I mean, we'll pull up his stats and stuff in a moment, but I'll get it out of the way. I don't want Beto at Inter. You're not an Inter supporter, but that Onana farewell made emotion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even if you're not an Onana, Inter fan, that Onana video definitely pulled the heartstrings for sure. Fusion God, Lukaku needs to come back. Lord, I've seen people have started to turn on that in terms of if you're objective and you look at the striker market, you're like, come on, brother. Like, let's bygones be bygones, and like let's just put everything aside and get back onto the negotiation table, because the striker market is so unconvincing at the moment, right? Like all the names that we're linked with, but even the ones we're not linked with, is like, is there really a convincing option out there for the money that we've got to spend with? That's the thing. And I can see this train of thought why it's coming back as well. You know, leaving the morality of the situation aside, the fact that he had his agents or lawyer or whoever negotiate with Juventus. Maybe he didn't have direct contact with them, but the fact that even he opened to that is the doors closed. But I've seen people say like, if it's Morata, if it's Taremi, if it's Beto, then just give me Lukaku, man. And I can definitely see that train of thought. Yeah, Wing Chun, we had a word for Onana. Onana was super. Morata doesn't seem like a true player for Inter. What's up, Diaz? He was one time in Juventus, and he was. That's the day I disagree with people that call Morata like, not good enough, and he was awful. Like, I think that Morata is a useful player. He's a team player. That's the thing with Morata. He's a team player. He's really good in terms of bringing other people into play, and he always really works hard. But is he that quality that Inter won? I mean, if you look at, if you're saying this is the Lukaku replacement, then yeah, then we're messed. Then we're messed, because funnily enough, Morata and Lukaku have a bit of a parallel, because Chelsea, when they wanted to sign Lukaku, when Conte first went there, the second season, but they couldn't. Man United stole Lukaku off them. So then Morata was at the second option, and Conte was like, okay, I guess I'll have Morata. So they have that parallel there, and also the parallel between Morata and Lukaku is like they both somehow have accumulated so much money spent in transfer fees over the years, which is like, some people accuse these two of being part of money laundering, because I think Lukaku has the record actually of the most amount of transfer fees spent, just like changing teams, like, of all time. And Morata, he doesn't get to that level, but still like somehow manages to move. Every time he moves, it's like 20, 30, 40 million every time. So there's some weird parallels to Morata and Lukaku. What's up, Ikene? Yeah, no, 100%. Like, that's the one I'm saying. I don't even know. That's why I'm here to discuss with you guys. But I don't even know if we're gonna come by the end of the stream, if we're actually gonna decide on an actual final decision. I hate this paradoxical world we live in, where Cuadrado is not an Inter player and United have my Onana. Yeah, man, this is the metaverse world of football, where Juan Cuadrado is at Inter. I mean, Onana at Man United isn't really like that paradoxical, but yeah, Cuadrado at Inter is just still looks really weird. SFSL, Onana should have stayed. It still doesn't make sense. But again, that's what I said at the beginning. It wasn't to refinance Lukaku's. I've said that from the beginning. I don't know why people made it out to be like they're selling Onana to get Lukaku. They're selling Onana to make a plusvalenza to help the books, and then to buy the striker. And now it's not Lukaku, so that turned out to be true. It wasn't selling Onana to buy Lukaku. It's selling Onana to be able to finance the rest of the team that we need to build, because there's so many players leaving. Moby is on the Balogun train. But yeah, number 9, Thuram picked his number 9 today. So even if Lukaku comes back, he's gonna probably have to he's gonna have to settle for the number 90 if he ever does come back, because number 9, once again, it was for Edin Dzeko last season, and now it will be for Marcus Tikus Thuram. And hopefully he does it. He reps it with pride and does it justice. Knick-knack, I'm stunned we haven't heard about Wahi, but he's younger, cheaper, similar to Balogun in skill. Yeah, Wahi's another interesting one as well. We can add him to the list of guys to look at today. But some of the stuff, I know I posted his name in the past, and some people commented with some stuff, some real dodgy stuff about his past, like some pervert behavior back in his, oh, not even back in his youth, because he's still only 20 years old, but only a few years ago. So I don't know if that should be coming to our, decision making. But yeah, he's definitely an interesting name. What's up, Tari? Hope you're doing well. Nadim, need you to push the gift Orban train further with me. Yes, Nadim, this is a train we'll be pushing. I'll be pushing on Twitter, and I'll be pushing in this stream. Bro, if Thuram has the 9, that's it. No Lukaku. Yeah, I mean, we have to believe in Thuram. I mean, we're giving him the big boy wage. He's coming in 5.5, 6 million net. That's Barella, Hakan, Lautaro level pretty much. So he's on the big boy starter wage. His best season is 13 goals. Like, this is why I don't know why people, like, once I said this on Twitter and there was kind of disagreement, but I see a lot of parallels with Thuram and Correa. Again, we're talking about parallels between Lukaku and Morata. But we're signing Thuram now. He's 25, going to be 26. When we signed Correa, he was 26, coming into his peak, but never really shown that he can score or put, GA levels that are like, elite, but only showing the potential. That's why we signed Correa and now Thuram. He needs to be 13 goals isn't really going to cut it at Inter if he's going to be the starter. He needs to go 15 plus minimum, plus, 5, 6, 7 assists. It has to be 20, 25 GA is my target for Thuram. But yeah, you have to give him the trust, the belief. But also at the same time, we know that Inzaghi and Inter, last few years, we like to have a stacked forward line. Last few years we've had when it was Lukaku. Well, actually, on the Conte wasn't so much, but still had 3. And the Conte was Lukaku, Lautaro, the starters, and you had Alexis, who, in terms of wages, in terms of, gravitas, that guy was, potentially a starter as well. So 3 guys proper. And then we had Pinamonti, who was like, just that guy, space filler. But then under Inzaghi, because we sold Lukaku, then it was, we bought Correa and Dzeko, and we still had Alexis and then Lautaro. So 4 real potentially. I mean, obviously Correa in theory was supposed to be, but he just never turned out to be. You had 4 guys that potentially any of those 4 could be the starters. Now we know that obviously Correa is not one of those. But it seems like that's what Inzaghi likes. He likes to have 4. With a rare team, we play 2 up front, but 2 proper strikers up front, and we like to rotate them. So yeah, we have to give Thuram the trust, but also at the same time we need at least one more guy to guarantee some more goals. Bygones be bygones. This man will come in and destroy our locker room. Imagine the fans don't get begging him, and in November he's doing an interview. Yeah. No, I'm not on that train. I'm saying I can see the people's thoughts on that. But as I said, I was happy the fact that we're not continuing on that. Like, it's over. Like, it's time to cut the umbilical cord from Lukaku. Like, let's just move on. It's 40 million is just too much money plus his salary. Hey, you see me in the house. Just watch your 5-a-side comp. 6-a-side actually. But yeah, it's the first time I've watched myself play football, like on a video. I've never seen myself play football. It's eye-opening, and I never knew I was that stiff. Like, I literally play like your boy in me is Agume. I'm like that lazy running style. But yeah, it is what it is. Saud in house, he says Taremi looks the most polished of the lot. Yeah, I probably have to agree in terms of, exactly what you're getting with Taremi, aside from the Liga NOS tax, the Portuguese league tax. He's the one that, he's 31. You know exactly the man, the player that you're getting with Taremi. Denver's Grizz, thank you coming through. Tifo. Yeah, I watched that video. Some people posted that. I watched that video. It did make me think about Balogun in a different light, although I felt like it was a bit exaggerated. But at the same time, the way football's moving, 100 million player in a few years. I mean, already like, is he really, like, if that Mudryk guy, didn't he go for like 100 or almost 100 million? Grealish went for 100 million. As much as I like Grealish, but the 100 million tag now anymore, like in modern football, is almost losing its it's prestige, to be honest. Paki says, I love Mamardashvili. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the names for goalkeeper. We're not going to talk about the goalkeeper today, bro, but I think he's just too expensive because we need to get a second goalkeeper and we need to get a striker and a centre back. I think it's just unrealistic, unfortunately. I think that guy seemed like it could be a good long-term bet for the future of the position, but unfortunately, we broke. Freddie is also on the Elia Wahi train. How long until Inter can spend without worrying to sell? Probably not until the foreseeable future. Not even if you change owners, to be honest, bro. It's just look at the other teams in Serie A. Napoli, Serie A champions. What have they done until now? Nothing. Apart from selling Kim Min Jae, they've done nothing. What have Milan have only been able to do it since they sold Tonali for 70 million. Roma at the moment have only brought in free transfers and loans. Juventus brought Timothy Weah. It's just like this is the reality of not even just Inter now. Juve was the one team that used to be the outlier of the pack because of the revenues and the family that owns them. But now even they, when even them are having to cut back on things, then you know it's real. So until Serie A really and stadium things are sorted out, not for the foreseeable future, to be honest. Yeah, those are all links we have, Nikhil, but yeah, we're nothing concrete at the moment with any of those guys. Simi thinks Lukaku will still be there. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if things keep moving like this, and the striker market just doesn't convince, or they can't land the guys that they think they want, I wouldn't be surprised that in the end it's all a big convoluted conspiracy just to get Lukaku's price down. It was like, I know Chelsea fans have been accusing Inter of creating this conspiracy, this plan, that, go to Chelsea for 115 and we'll buy you back on the cheap. Is all part of a big masterclass from Morata, Zhang, and Lukaku. That's the Chelsea fans' theory. But this could be one of those other conspiracy theories. If I put my Alex Jones conspiracy theory hat on, that Inter have orchestrated this drama with Lukaku just to drive his price down and to get him on the cheap. Who knows? You might be spitting, Simi. You might be. I'm not ruling anything out in this crazy mercato, especially how it's going right now. I'm not ruling anything out. Yeah. We welcome all fans of every channel, brother. As long as you're respectful, we will be respectful here as well. Lakaka, Brikaku, Kalankaku, all these slander names. Can we just clone Adriano? Sure, I wish. Lonzo is looking at gift to replace Openda. Yeah, that would be a very good replacement. Yeah, we allow United fans. We allow any fans in the. Why wouldn't we allow the fans? Morata is in no hurry. Yes, Sunni, 100%. 100%. I think what's happened is, all the eggs were in the Lukaku basket, and then the Lukaku basket was thrown out of the window. So now, let me just take my socks off and get comfortable. Actually, I need to put this fan on. It's getting a bit warm in here. Yeah, so I think it's not even just Morata. I think it's Inzaghi probably. Inzaghi was the one who really pushed for Lukaku to come back as well. So I think he wants maybe some time to assess what Auxilio can bring to him. Like, he's probably like, okay, bring me some options, brother. Put a PowerPoint together, put 10 slides, 1 slide per each striker, and let's get together again and decide on this. Which makes sense. I think what they should be in hurry for, though, is the goalkeeper situation. They need to get that sorted. I mean, they should have got it sorted now because Onana's gone. Ideally, they should have got Onana out and at least one goalkeeper straight in, not Di Gennaro, the third goalkeeper, like at least one of the first or second goalkeeper. The striker one, because we've got Lautaro and Thuram, and I mean, Correa, we'll see what happens with that guy. It's not like I think you can try to wait, but of course you want to get the guy in to pre-season, get accustomed to everything, get under Inzaghi. But yeah, I think you're right, Sunny. I don't think they are in a particular hurry. But Mubarak today, we saw the links. We saw the links with Scamacca, and we'll talk about him. We did see the Scamacca links today. Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, nah, I don't really like him. He's a massive goalkeeper, but he's a brute. Like he's not good on the ball. He's a starter for Torino, and Torino a very hard team to negotiate with. Immobile, bro, like Lotito, we know Lazio, like they're gonna make you pay 30-40 million for a 31-year-old, 32-year-old, wherever he is now, and he's got Saudi links right now, so you're not gonna be able to compete with them anyway. Ludi Scores, hey, what's up, brother? It's been a while. Just want to check in and say hello. Thank you. Good to see you, brother. Milan coming in for Lukaku. Yeah, maybe. Well, he doesn't really fit Milan's like transfer strategy. But although there was a rumor a few weeks ago, so maybe they did sniff around, but he just doesn't fit there. Like, although they're in for Taremi doesn't really fit their usual thing. So yeah, maybe, but they already spent like Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, and then apparently they're pushing for Chukwueze. So I think they spent a lot of that Tonali money already. So I don't think they're going to push like a 40 million striker now. Jonathan David, he's very overpriced, Francesco. From what I've seen, Lille won like 50, 60 million. So, our top budget is 40. Like we've seen now that, okay, Inter can push themselves to 40. I don't know if that was a bluff from Morata and co, like to show that we bid that much for Lukaku, but actually they don't want to spend that much. That's another conspiracy theory, by the way. That's my one, that these guys did a fake bid for Lukaku, but they don't actually want to spend that much just to show the fans that, oh, look, we tried our best for Lukaku. And then Steven Zhang was like, pull the plug. We're not spending 40 million on one player. But yeah, Jonathan David, he's out of the price range from what I read. Like they want a little bit stupid money, in my opinion. And I've never been a big fan of him, to be honest. But yeah, he's okay. I wouldn't mind him, but again, that much not for the amount that he's rumored for. Patson Daka, just Leicester. So I'm from Leicester, so I've watched a bit of Patson Daka. He's been okay. He's a decent player. I'll get, if he's available on a cheap, on a loan, you can get him as a fourth option. I wouldn't really bring him in to be the Lukaku replacement. And he's very much like a running behind merchant with low pace. Oh, and here's the Mauro Icardi apologists coming in. It's 2023, guys. Let it go. Again, though, if he's available on a cheap, we could cook something. I wouldn't mind Icardi as well. But again, I mean, this is Kirby. You were mad about Lukaku. This guy Icardi did much worse than Lukaku ever did, because this guy was flirting with Juve way back as well. So I guess the time has healed everything when it comes to Icardi for you. If Inter wants to succeed in the future, I think we have to develop young talent. I don't see any other option than Balogun. Yeah, so that brings me to my point. Oh, and thank you, Fusion God, for becoming a channel member. Very, very much appreciate you doing that. Appreciate the support. So let's get into that. I mean, I spent now 23 minutes and we haven't actually started doing anything of what I was planning. So sorry, guys, if I ignore some of your comments now, but we need to get going. So this is like and I know not everyone's interested in the money side of things. Like I see people like, Inter fans are turning into calculators. This is what Suning have done. Like, I agree. Suning have turned us into calculators and accountants, or Serie A in general. But at the same time, this is modern football. Even outside of football, I work in marketing. We know that now the consumer is smarter and more well-informed than they ever have been. So I like, I'm a football fan, but I also like to be informed about the decision-making, the rationale behind the decisions being made in football. So if you don't enjoy the financial side of things, you don't have to, do it or listen to it. But I like to see the full picture. I like to try to give you guys the full picture. I know some old school football fans don't like it. Is they say football's turning into money. We should only care about what goes on the pitch, which I agree. That's the thing I care about the most. But at the same time, as I say, I like to talk about the full picture. But yeah, Sky Sport in Italy posted this picture of like the yearly annual cost of Balogun versus Morata. Morata, this is estimates, by the way, guys. Morata, 18 million per season, per annual cost on the books. Someone like Balogun would be 12. So how does that work? So if you break it down, Morata, his rumored salary is high, 5.5/6. So on the level of Marcus Thuram, almost near Lautaro level. But unlike Balogun, unlike Marcus Thuram, he doesn't get growth decree benefits. So he doesn't get those tax breaks, or Inter doesn't get those tax breaks. So they would have to pay the full tax on this. So gross, it will be around 11, 12 million gross. Then the rumored release clause, or the minimum that Atletico want, apparently Inter have bid 15, but Atletico will not budge from 20 to 21 million. So that's his price. If you divide that over 4 years, which is his contract, that's around 17 to 18 million annual cost. So that is very, very expensive. If you remember, Lukaku annual cost was around 20, 21, that loan plus his wages, everything. So this is a very, it's not like Morata is cheap. Morata is a very expensive move. And of course, because he's 30, 31, what's his resale value going to be? Very, very low. On the other hand, Balogun, or someone like Balogun, if it's Wahi, if it's Gift Orban, whoever you want to, like that price range, 30 to 40 million, young, their salary, first of all, is going to be low. Let's say, the rumored one to offer to Balogun will be 3 to 3.5 million net. He gets the growth decree benefits. So that helps Inter. That's only 4.5 million gross on the books. Yes, he costs 40 million, but of course you can spread that over years. And the annual cost on the actual Inter books is only around 12 million. And, if you get someone like Orban or someone else, even cheaper. So, according to reports, Inzaghi, and of course we know Marotta probably is also pushing for the more ready option. Serie A proven, experience, knows the league, knows, blah, blah, blah. But financially, for the future of Inter, resale value, but just like, development, marketability, potential as well, I think it's a no-brainer. Like, I think if it comes down to like this type of decision, it has to be someone. I'm not saying it right now, like we'll talk about it now, who it should be, but right now I'm saying it should not be Morata. It should be someone like Balogun, and not just financially. I'm just talking about like long term for Inter as well. But at the same time, I'm not as mad about people about the whole the whole Morata thing. I've seen people go like all arms up in the air about Morata. It's like, oh, why he's awful, all this back. I don't know if I've said it on the live stream, but I've said it on Twitter sometimes that when Morata was at Juve, that I see Morata as an Inzaghi player. Like I could see him being useful because I said he's a team player. He's good at bringing people into play. He's good on the counter attack. Yes, he's very flaky in terms of goal scoring. He probably misses more chances than many strikers out there. His mentality is very weak. And we know what he's 30, 31. Like we know who he is, Morata, now. Like we don't need to discover Morata. We've seen him for Atletico, for Chelsea, for Juventus. We know what type of player he is. So I'm not too mad about it if we do end up getting Morata, but I just don't think it financially makes any sense. And then even like, practically, yeah, I think he could give you 10, 15 goals. But again, it's like, what's the real long-term benefit to this move? Because we can't just keep thinking short-term every season. So that's my thinking in terms of getting into this conversation now once I start to pull up all the stats for all the other strikers. So Eduardo's got his own conspiracy theories that Juventus approached Lukaku. Yeah. I don't think that's even a conspiracy theory. I think that's 100%. These are the market beef that go on all the time. We've seen it so many times. When we signed Lukaku originally, we had to beat Juventus to Lukaku because they wanted to swap Dybala and Lukaku between them and Man United, and we had to beat them to it. So it's very normal, these transfer battles. So yeah, it could be a fake offer, but at the same time, it might not have been a fake offer. It's just that offer is very much dependent on them actually selling Vlahovic first, which who knows when actually that happens, if that happens. Hey, Brady, what's up, brother? Brad Jeet, looking forward to more videos of the Wonder Kid. I might start recording myself or the team play football a bit more often. It's quite fun. Francesco says to have a little extra budget, I would consider keeper Fabian and Sensi, 7 midfielders at least until January, so we can support us. Yeah, I'm always okay with keeping Sensi. Fabian, I think he needs to go. Like, you can't keep a youth player there to play like 500 minutes, 400 minutes. Like, that doesn't benefit him. Sensi, last year of his contract, last year at Monza, apart from the one serious injury he got, he was fit most of the time. Yeah, I would be against keeping Sensi as a sixth midfielder, to save money on budget. But Fabian, honestly, I would send him, like, let the boy play Serie A, not Serie B this year, Serie A or equivalent, like Eredivisie, Bundesliga, like a decent league this year. Like, he needs to go play, put 2,000 minutes, regular minutes under his leg with adults, quality football. Then we can see what we can cook with Giovanni Fabian, who scored the first goal of the season. As I said, I'm not against Icardi because, again, like, objectively, that guy would score goals in this team. We are a chance creation machine. Icardi will be feasting in this team, but I don't see why people are like so emotional over him. Exactly. Potentially pay Morata that much in 2023 and saying exactly, like, there's no way we should pay that release clause, the 21 million release clause. Is that true? I was reading when Milan were linked with him a few weeks ago, and they were close to signing him, and then I was reading that the release clause was 10 million. So then I was like, okay, if you're saying 10 million, 5.5 million, okay, then that's still expensive, but it's like, okay, that's doable. And you bring in some experience. Like, let's not forget, we've lost a lot of experience in this team. Dzeko's left, Handanovic, Skriniar, D'Ambrosio. Like, there, we do need to get. I know we hate it when we sign these older players, but 30 years old isn't too old. I agree. Alex Morata just for every time. Yeah, that guy as well. Morata is like, I can just see. He's similar to Correa. I know some people have called him the Spanish Correa. But imagine, we've got the Milan derby on match day 4 this season. And if he misses a chance in that, like a massive chance, and we lose the game, you just know, well, like, I love our fan base to bits, but you just know the fan base from that moment would turn on him, because obviously he's Juventino as well, former Juventino. No one's hype about his signing. They would turn on him. And similar to Correa, this guy would crumble. Like, we've seen it with Spain. There was a period where he started to get booed. He just started, like, I think he went under depression as well when he was at Chelsea. Like, mentally, the guy is very, like, I'm not saying this as making fun of him. Everyone has their own weaknesses and strengths, but mentally, he seems to be a guy who can't handle big pressure. So, unlike, someone like Edin Dzeko, he can miss chance after chance after chance, but he'll be back ready again to go again and be ready to step up to the plate. Hey Tim, hope you're doing well. Look forward to listen to this on my drive to work. Crazy how many spots still need to be filled. Yeah, man, still loads of spots. I think 4 or 5 still to go. Just woke up from a nap to see you alive. Beautiful. Hey Uche, hope you are doing well. Raji, if we keep Sensi and get Demer out, RCB, how feasible is to get a Scamacca, Balogun? Should we sell Correa for 10? Yeah, I think if we actually do the miracle of selling Correa then it opens up the space to get someone else for sure. Demiral, again, I don't want to get Demiral as the right centre back. I keep saying I'll explain my reasoning, but I need to, I think, make a video on that. But it depends, obviously, if it's actually you have to buy him or is it like a loan, if it actually affects the budget. And again, Scamacca, will it be an outright purchase, loan with obligation, or is it loan with option? So it depends on those things. But it's doable. It's doable, but Correa being sold is a big if that we're all praying to all of the deities that exist in the world. Big Shams just for Intermezzo Forza Inter from Slovenia. What's up, brother? Handanovic FC. Morata would be pretty much, that's the thing. Morata would be kind of similar to Dzeko in terms of, I mean, obviously a bit more pace, a bit more mobility, but not too dissimilar in terms of profile. We need to find a kid from the favelas or something. Yeah, definitely. Not Gabigol. That's the last one we tried. Gabigol and Dalberts. That's the last Brazilians we've had. So we need to find some other ones. But yeah, let's get into some of these guys, like stats wise. So we'll finish up the Morata. You can see FBref where he stands out. Percentage of aerials won. Successful take-ons that led to a goal. So you see, like, he's a bit of a dribbler. He likes to play on the counter-attack in open space. He's good at pressing. He works hard. Look at that, touches in the defensive penalty area. Like, he's a hard work. He's going to be those guys that he would help our pressing. He would help, he's decent in the air. He's decent at hold up play. He's decent at a lot of things, successful take on. Like, he's decent. So that's what I'm saying. I do see the fit, but again, I don't want him to be the number one choice. Again, maybe later on in the transfer window, Atletico might think, okay, no, we can't. We need to sell him, so we don't want 20, and we can cheaper, maybe. But right now, I would like to focus on other targets. And yes, thank you, Coro Black, for reminding the people. 96 people in here. Please like the video, guys. Pavard is the ideal profile, but definitely a lot more than Demiral. What you need as a right centre back, especially in modern football, in Inzaghi's system as well, is a hybrid. You need a guy that's comfortable playing as a right back and as a centre back, because that's what the right centre back of a 3 is. You need to have that lateral mobility, be able to move sideways and forwards and carry the ball and pass. Like the centre back position now, there's there's like less focus on the actual defending side, but it's become actually more complex now because you have to be able to do so many more things whilst also still be able to be a good defender. Whereas Demiral is just a good defender. He is just a brute force, good at, 1v1 duels and, slide tackling, getting gassed. So if we needed a central centre-back, let's say De Vrij left, or we couldn't re-sign a Cherby, then I would say, okay, get Demiral in, because that's the profile in there, because you don't need to be as good on the ball there. You don't need to be carrying the ball there. You don't need to be so high up the pitch and carry the ball up and be exposed 1v1. Pavard, who's a guy who's played right back for a lot of his career, played centre back as well, played right centre back over 3. Like, he's the perfect hybrid, really good on the ball, very technical, great passing ability, mobile. That's the profile that you need for the centre back, right centre back. But so let's look at MB data again, sticking to Morata for now. Then we'll move on to other guys. I don't want to talk too much about Morata. You can see Lukaku in the blue, Morata in the red. You can see, aerial percentage-wise, he's close to Lukaku. Non-penalty goals-wise, per minutes played, he's above Lukaku. XG is very close. You can see, I don't really like using these graphs too much because I don't actually like the metrics they've picked there, because I don't really care about the offensive actions and expected assists and passes to boxes. But yeah, you can see the difference there. And now let's talk about some of these other guys. So we talked about Morata. Do we not believe Lautaro and Thuram? Tim says, yeah, no, that's what we were saying to Tim. We talked about it earlier. It's not about not believing in Thuram. It's the fact that Inzaghi wants at least 3 guys. We've seen it over the years. Even on the Conte was, Lukaku, Lautaro, and Sanchez. Then when Inzaghi came, last season, Lukaku, Lautaro, Dzeko, and Correa, like he likes 4 stack. I mean, it has to be at least 3. Maybe this year we can have the 4th, like we had Pinamonti and the Conte, but at least 3 rotational main strikers is the way. So I don't think it's about the lack of faith in Thuram, but at the same time, Thuram's, as we said, 13 goals is his best season he's had. We need some more. We still need some more goals. Bulaidia, yeah, he's another guy. He's interesting. They only recently bought him for like 18 million or something, Salernitana, 13 million. So yeah, I like him. Left-footed as well, brings a different angle. I wouldn't be against him. Doesn't sound like a big club player to me. He's like, I feel like, he was at Villarreal, he's a Salernitana now. He sounds to me like a guy who, I watched him. I do like him. Some of his goals they scored this season are really nice. But not convinced. Not convinced. No Morata fan, but find misleading some of the number stats to analyze the players. Important to consider the other factors like the teams been playing. Yeah, I mean, as well. Like Morata last season scored like 15 goals, and you have to, imagine you played under Allegri, a terrorist. That guy's ISIS impersonated in football, and then you got Simeone, the inventor of terrorism. So that's the 2 coaches he's played under. So 100%, you have to put those into context when you talk about Morata, the types of systems he's played in. Yeah. So let's have a look at some of the other guys. Like, let's talk about Balogun. Would you guys spend the rumored 40 million euros for Balogun? Esposito, bro, like, this guy needs to show first, Jorge. Like, he hasn't shown a Bari. I mean, Bari was okay, actually. Anderlecht, they cut the loan short because of, behavioral issues, like attitude issues. He was at Spal, he was at Venezia. Like, you got to show something. You can't be just given a chance just because you're into youth player. He needs to he needs to show why he should be given a chance. So that's why. Allegri terrorist is Simon the inventor. Yeah, it's true though, bro. It's true. If we don't have a right wing back, Candreva. We're sorted on the right wing back, bro. We've got too many. We've got Dumfries, Quadrado, and then we also got Darmian. That is stacked. Unless we sell Dumfries again, that's a massive if. But yeah, let's talk about Balogun. Then Viz Grizz says, get Balogun right now. I'll be honest, I'm not moved by. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but I've been doing my research because I'm not too familiar with Balogun, so I've been doing my research, and I've made one comp of Balogun versus PSG, and then I posted one today of someone else that made Balogun versus Canada from just a few weeks ago. He doesn't move me, but I do see potential there. Like, this guy is 22. His link-up play isn't great. Like, let's quick look video before we get copyrighted. He's always running in behind. That's one thing I like. His movement looks top-notch. And look at the goal that he'll score in a minute. Is very, very reminiscent of Icardi versus Juve 2013. Look, he's got pace. He's good pressing. Let's go to his goal. Yeah, look at his goal now. Look at his movement. Watch him. Pointing. Boom. First time. Icardi versus Buffon. I don't know if you guys remember that goal. And he's always pointing in behind every time. That's one thing I noticed when I was making the comp. He's so willing to run in behind, and his movement is good. And, link-up play and things like that, you can always work on. where you can see like, yeah, his touch is not always on point, but look, he's always willing to stretch the defense, always willing to run in behind, work hard. Look at that again, pointing to behind to shoot. So yeah, the problem I see with the problem I have with Balogun is like, if you were looking for a Lukaku, Balogun is not like, if you're looking for Lukaku, is basically looking for the guy, the target man, the guy who's going to bring in players and hold up the ball and be the guy to bring in, Lautaro and, take the pressure off Lautaro in terms of that side of things. Balogun he's a penalty box striker. So I don't know if Lautaro and Balogun would be complementary together, because, as much as especially the first season, I didn't like Dzeko and Lautaro together, but then the second season, last season, they were much better together. You can see like Balogun aerial percentage is like almost near zero. I don't know if that's because the team he played for in France never like lobbed the ball up to him. But yeah, again, this graph just doesn't really show, like, I want to see more like around dribbling stats and other stats comparison. But let's go on here, where you can see, look at that non-penalty XG, shots per 90. He ranks really high, 91st percentile, touches in the box, progressive passes received. So he is like the attacking terminal for his team. But my concern with Balogun is, look, he's very much a penalty box striker. He doesn't get much involved outside of the penalty box. Look at that, tackles, pressing, very, very low numbers, very low touches, only in the attacking pen. He's got decent dribbling numbers, 2.61, completes 1 per game. It's not too bad. Carries the ball a little bit, carries into the penalty area. There's a lot to work on there. There's a lot to work on there. Get Castaños back in. Actually, this guy does remind me of Castaños, Balogun. Castaños was kind of like that, if you guys remember him from our banter era. The new Henri, the Dutch guy we signed. Was it 2012? 13? Or like Balogun, but that's the thing, bro. You're not going to spend 40 million on the backup. That's the thing. And I don't really care about the market thing. Like the marketing, US marketing, it shouldn't be like the bottom of like our priority when it comes to the decision making. I know there's a lot of you guys from the US who would love it, and of course it would help Inter marketing wise, but that's just a bonus of the guy who we pick. Ucha says he'll be okay with keeping Correa. If we get Balogun, Correa, Morata will be a disaster. Yeah, you're getting like two of the same guys with Correa and Morata, kind of. One thing worries about Balogun is they only have one convincing, and that's again, yeah, like it's a big gamble. 40 million for a guy who's only had one season, really, because the season before, Middlesbrough in the Championship, second division of England, I think he only scored like, was it 3 goals, 4 goals or something? So he's coming off like one completely anonymous season to one like amazing season. But of course, he is very young as well. He only just turned 22. So yeah, like again, I definitely prefer Balogun as a signing, financially, marketing, whatever you want to say, to Morata, but I'm not fully convinced by Balogun in terms of his profile. And that's another thing, guys. What is the profile Inter going for? I always feel like we go by name rather than by profile. Like my thinking now for a few years now has changed. I don't look at names anymore. I look at profiles. Whereas, like, you remember when we sold Lukaku and we went from, it was Duvan Zapata, Belotti, the Marcus Thuram, and then we ended up with Correa. Like, what's the similar? Well, Thuram and Correa is kind of similar, but how does you go from Duvan Zapata, Belotti, Thuram, Correa? Like, what was the profile there? And then now you're going from the Lukaku profile to Balogun, Morata, Like, there's no clear profile. Like, it doesn't seem like. I mean, we know that Inter are not a team. We're not like Liverpool, Brighton, Atalanta. These teams are known to go for like analytics first, or Milan now, analytics first, where you build an analytical profile, and then you probably have like certain parameters that you're looking for to scout the player. I don't think Inter, Auxilio, Morata doing that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like there has to be some sort of logic behind this. I still feel like I still feel like Inter go for names over profile, in my opinion. And yeah, of course, you have to take into account the Liga tax as well. Yeah, but that's the thing as well with Balogun is like, if he does even flop, because he is, I know he's American, but he's he's English. He's grew up in England. Like, he's got that Premier League marketability. He should be the age factor as well. You should be able to sell him again, even if he flops, to actually like get some money back. Whereas with Morata, Taremi, these guys, you're not going to get your money back. Moving on, Taremi. So Taremi, now if you're talking about profile, if you're talking about a Dzeko replacement, Taremi is about as close as you get. So now I'm gonna put Dzeko and Taremi. So Dzeko is in orange, Taremi is in red. Look how similar of a profile this is. And let me put in Taremi and Harry Kane, because this is something I came across the other day. Look how similar that is. So Taremi is that striker, a technical striker. He's like Dzeko. He's like Harry Kane. He's going to come deep. He's going to have a good touch. He's going to switch play. He's going to win duels. He's going to bring other people into play. He's going to do assists. He's going to score goals. He's going to drift wide. He's going to drift deep. He's going to drift to the other side. He is one of those types of strikers. He's very deceiving. People think because he's got this, he's 30, 31, he's Iranian, he looks big. You think he's just like a old school target man, number 9. But now this guy under Conceição, he's developed himself into this complete striker. The problem with Taremi is the same as Morata. This guy is 30. Oh, actually, he's 31. Oh, since 2 days. He turned 31 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Taremi. So age, Porto, you guys know Portuguese teams are impossible to negotiate with. Apparently they want 25 million euros. So he's even more expensive than Morata in terms of price, potentially. His salary will be lower. But again, you sign him, resale value is going to be very low. And then, the age factor, how long can he give you? But profile-wise, people might be scoffing at Taremi in terms of name, again, because he's Iranian. He's not that well known. But this guy, look at that. 22 goals, 7 assists last season in the league alone. And then 5 and 2 in the Champions League. Like, those are elite numbers. From Taremi. He's been doing that for a few seasons. And there is a reason why Milan are always interested in him. AC Milan have been negotiating with him already, so they're ahead of us in terms of Taremi. Taremi's been linked to us, but I don't know if Inter actually opened talks for him. So I can see why Taremi, and he definitely would be interesting. But again, Portuguese league tax, but I like Taremi as a profile. I really do. And again, as I said, it's not the end of the world. We have Lautaro, Thuram. You got 25, 26-year-old 2 strikers. It's not the end of the world if you sign an older striker. You do need some experience in there, and strikers peak later anyway. So again, now that I'm talking to you guys about it, I'm actually preferring Taremi over Morata, if I'm completely honest with you. Um, yeah, so that's another one of the guys. As we said, profile-wise, very, very similar to Jekyll. And then the other rumored one, okay, let's talk about the guy that I definitely don't want, Beto. I guess Fusion God is definitely not on the Taremi train. Let me show you Beto. So Portuguese or Guinea-Bissau. No, sorry, I'm not supporting you. With ads, this guy, I just don't like him, man. He's like a brick touch. I hope he stays in Serie A. Like, he's one of those guys that I like, that he is in Serie A, good character, you know, adds a bit of entertainment. But look at these stats, guys. 8 passes. Oh my goodness, this might be the worst passing stats I've ever seen for. He's in. I have never seen the number 1 in any of these stats in my life. he's in the 1%. Oh my god, that is awful. This guy, I've never seen a 1, and I've never seen so many 1s either. This guy is an absolute brick. 0.55 progressive passes. Like, this guy does not pass, or he doesn't know how to pass. It's awful. He's got more passes offside than passes. Oh god, that is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's decent. Like, for his size, that's the one like thing. He's massive. He's like 6'3", 6'4", and he's an absolute unit. And he's really quick. So he's a counter-attack machine. He's good at hold-up play, kind of. But apparently Udinese won like 25, 30 million for him as well. Yeah, this is what he's good at: aerial wins. He'll bully defenders. Like, he'll be like Lukaku in terms of bullying Serie A defenders. That's one positive thing. But if he was cheap, again, if we were talking about like guy that you can get like 10, 15 million cheap, third, fourth choice, then I'll be okay. But some of the numbers I'm hearing, this is FB Ref, by the way, Diego, FB Ref. Only for the name, of course, Eduardo, you, because you're also called Beto. Yeah, exactly, Emil. 35 mil. Nah. Zaha. Yeah, Zaha's a free agent, but he's like he's a winger. Yeah, Musa Dembele. I don't know why no one seems to be linked with that guy. No one seems to be one touching him. I wouldn't mind him as, like, again, a throwaway fourth option. But he had a very bad season last year at Lyon, so I don't know really what happened to that guy, because a few years ago he was kind of up and coming. So yeah, we can throw Beto out. Now I'll give you my 2 picks if I was the in charge, if I was Piero Ausilio. These are the 2 names that I want at Inter. I mean, this guy doesn't even have a picture, but this is one guy. I've been running the train for this guy on Twitter. Wait, let me actually show you the picture of him, because otherwise, this guy is a young Nigerian boy, Niger boy. Only recently came to Ghent in Belgium. But I like him. He strikes me as a young, hungry, gifted, gift, of course, it's in his name, but yeah, gifted player. Came in, as I said, like just January. Just look at that. Just in like 16 games, this guy is putting up, 15 goals or 14 goals, whatever it is, 2 assists. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the FB Ref has any numbers for him. Let's try compare him here to, let's see, gift. Is he here? Oh, damn it, they haven't got him. It's because he's in the bloody. Oh no, yeah, he is here. Orban, and let's put in, I don't know, Lautaro. You can see he's very similar to Lautaro in terms of profile. Look at that. And he's actually got, so he needs to improve on his aerial percentage. He's similar in terms of height. How tall is he, Gift Orban? He is on the shorter side. He is like Now that I think about it, it's very 1.78. That's pretty much Lautaro's height, isn't it? 1.78 Lautaro Martinez height. Yeah, 1.74. So yeah, he's pretty much Lautaro. But this guy, he's got a bit of pace. He's strong. He can finish. And the finishing, like, he's got a variety of finishes in his bag. Like, he's got outside of the box, which Lautaro doesn't have in his bag. He's got curlers. He's got heading. He's got, those predatory number 9 type of finishes. He's got the full package, in my opinion. And you can get him from the rumors. I think you should be able to get him for around 25, 30 max. And yeah, there is those kind of videos going on about him, the wonder kid who came from nowhere. Like, yeah, this guy was playing amateur football just until a couple of years ago. Yeah, that Retegi guy, I mean, I never really liked him that much. Again, you're talking about a pure poacher profile here. It looks like he's going to Genoa, by the way, which again shows the fact that he's going to a newly promoted team that, not a lot of teams were really convinced about him. But yeah, they were asking for, 15, 18 million or something for a guy who's only played in Argentinian league. He's already 24 years old, which is not old, but it's kind of old for a guy who's still in the Argentinian league. We got Big Anthony in the house. What's up, brother? Hope you're good. Hope you are doing well. Who do you want, Anthony? Who's your guy? Drop your name. Are you Team Morata, Taremi, Balogun, Scamacca, Beto, or the guy I just talked about, Gift Orban? So let us know, Big Anto. And of course, subscribe to Inter Worldwide. Orban played in the Nigerian league 13 months ago. He came out of nowhere. Yeah, literally. That's what I like about him. He reminds me of kind of, just these kind of stories where you're just hungry, bro. You're just coming from nothing and you just want to conquer the world. You're just ready to go and get it. Like, you see the way Osimhen plays, how Lautaro plays, these guys that just want to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. They want to earn money and live a good life, but they want to, like, come in this game and just take it by the scruff of the neck, do things to it. Like, that's the vibes I get from someone like Gift Orban. Search him up. Again, if we're talking about unproven, this guy is even less unproven than more unproven than Balogun. Belgian league is even worse than Ligue 1. He doesn't even play for the Nigerian national team. At least Balogun plays for the USA national team. But this is just my personal opinion, that I think this Gift Orban guy, if we don't sign him, someone like, Lille, some of these Ligue 1 teams, or like a Leipzig, or one of these Bundesliga teams will sign him, and you'll see him go for like 60, 70, 80 million the season after. Just my opinion, my prediction. That case as a no Balogun. I watched him live yesterday. He does split opinion, this Balogun guy. He does split opinion. I've not seen the whole fan base really rally behind him. Lautaro's go for 60. Whoa! No way. These guys. Oh, I need to search this up right now. Leave him alone, please. Leave us alone. Oh my goodness. Caralho. It's true. These guys, man, just leave us alone. You've took Brozovic now. What's the offer for Inter, though? 60 million net for 4 years, 240 million. Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy. I'm speechless, guys. What the hell is going on? These guys just won't rest. What are we gonna do? These guys just buy everyone. What's even the point now? 60 million net, and that is tax free. That's 10x the money. He makes 6.5 at internet after taxes. That is crazy money. My head is spinning. Imagine Lautaro's head. My goodness. 10x. Bloody hell. Balogun, but Anthony says, although if it was possible, I tried to go for Immobile. Nah, bro, you know Lotito, man. Anthony, you know Lotito better than all of us. That guy will bleed you dry. He's 32 years old. He'll still ask for 30 million. Nah, he can't be buying Immobile at that age. If it was cheap, again, yeah, if we're talking about it was cheap, but you know, Lotito, that guy will bleed you dry. But yeah, let's move on to the last one. The other one I would go for, which is Anthony mentioned him as well. Scamacca. Yeah, I don't get why didn't just buy Inter, man. Like those PIF rumors. Like I don't understand. I just buy Inter. Why don't you just do that instead of like dicking us around every season? Anyway, let's finish up with the last option. The last guy I want to talk about, Scamacca. Now, the one thing everyone says is like, you know, and I say it as well, like get this guy on loan. But first of all, the West Ham want to loan him out. They just spent 40 million for him last season. They don't have to sell. These Premier League teams are not financially burdened. They're not in any under pressure to loan players. So first, there's that. Maybe it's a loan with option or loan with obligation. Okay, we can do that. But you can see he's coming off a bad season. Only 6 goals, lots of injuries, not much played. He's 24 now. He's not young anymore. He needs to step up to the plate. Injury concerns. If you look at his underlying stats as well, nothing particularly. I was making fun of Beto earlier. These are all the reds you see here, not particularly great. But again, context. He's playing under David Moyes, terrorist football in the Premier League. And again, unfortunately, because of his injuries, and Mikel Antonio was in front of him, it just wasn't. It didn't work out for him. And it was very predictable. We predicted like this guy. It was the most predictable loan back to Serie A possible. But yeah, you can see like, you know, he's good at. He's big boy, 6'4", 6'5", but he's technical. He'll bring the ball down. He'll do switches. He'll play it long. He'll play it short. He'll link up. He'll do little chest passes. You know, some people like to compare him to Ibra. Obviously, not as good at all, but you can see there's some like, you know, things that reminisce, that, you know, remind you of like a big technical striker. You know, he's good at pressing. He's good at, you know, look at that tackling numbers, interception numbers. I like the material that is there, the raw material that is there to give to Inzaghi to work on him, and have Lautaro, Scamacca, Thuram rotating in between each other, plus a fourth guy. And today the rumors, Longari, Gianluigi Longari, who is a pretty decent source over the last year, I've grown to really appreciate him as a source. He does mainly for Sport Italia, this work. He said that Inter have either been offered or they've opened a negotiation, or just like, you know, asking West Ham for information around loaning Scamacca. So we'll see whether that is true or not. But I do like Scamacca. I do like his potential. Of course, he's Italian as well. Wages would be affordable. I think he's on around 3.5 on West Ham. So even if we loan them, wages will be fine. Option or obligation, you know, maybe you can get 25, 30 if West Ham don't want to take too much of a big loss. Yeah, those are the two guys for me, guys. I would go Scamacca or gift Orban. And then the ones we're linked with, as I said, I'll probably say, yeah, Balogun, Taremi, Morata, Beto, in that order. That's my opinion on all this. But let's see what happens in the upcoming days. Yeah, Nadim, I think that would be. I mean, if we get both, that would be amazing for me. Scamacca reminds me of taller Correa. No, completely different profile. I mean, unless you mean mentally, I don't know. Yeah, there are doubts on Scamacca doubt mentally, like can he step up to the plate, things like that. We talked about Jonathan David earlier, Abdulaziz. They're asking for way too much money. I'm not a big fan, but if it was around 20, 30, 40 max, you could talk about it. But apparently, I've heard Lil 150, 60, or Osimhen money. You know, they sold Osimhen for like 60, 70 to Napoli. Apparently, that's much they want. So, no. But yeah, we'll talk about, we need a centre back. We need, a 6 centre mid. We need 2 goalkeepers. Those are the real burning topics. But of course, striker position is the more sexy one to talk about. So we'll talk about those in the coming days. And yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this Lautaro situation that's just developed as we are live. Because that is crazy. That is crazy, Chilo. What the hell? If we have to sell Lautaro, I mean, this depends on him. Because that's the thing with these Saudi teams, guys. The problem is it's kind of the other way around now, because these guys come in with such big offers first for the player that if a player wants that they accept, it's kind of like, they'll give you the money that you want as a club. Obviously, we got undersold for Brozovic because of those reasons of like, well, we wanted to just get rid of him, whatever. But you've seen like Milinkovic Savic, Lazio wanted 40, they gave him 40. Ruben Neves, Wolves wanted 55, they gave him 55. So if Lautaro gets convinced, and I mean 10x money, guys, fucking hell, can't even blame him. That's crazy money. That is crazy money. Yeah. Yeah, he was twerking. He's from Roma. He grew up from Roma. He's probably a Roma fan. So yeah, if it came down to it, probably he would pick Roma. But those things are good when it's the actual club that you support for. You go there once, it's not really a big deal to me, bruh. Never in my life. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that striker conversation. A little bit of a deep dive. We probably didn't deep dive as much as I really wanted to into the stats, but I think we had a good conversation around it all. And then we had this Lauti news kind of just ruined my mood. Hope it doesn't happen, but let's see. Fucking hell, these Saudis, man. Just buy Inter, please. Just buy Inter and get it overdone with. Oh, but yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this afterwards, I want to know your thoughts on who you guys want. Ciao ragazzi. Always Forza Inter. Oh, Saudi Arabia.